Kia ora, welcome into the form. We've got plenty to get through this week. We're back to Te Rapa and Riccarton domestically, and we're touching across the Tasman as usual. And back this week, we've got the full team, Leith Innes, Aidan Rodley and Bevan Sweeney. And here's what's coming up this week on the form. We'll be starting with our 2-year-old feature out of Te Rapa, the listed Waikato Equine Vet Centre Stakes. The Riccarton feature as well, with the 2-year-olds to the fore in the listed Champagne Stakes. Our race trackers will be taking a look at the South Australian Derby, the Kiwis and Oz preview there. Our feature harness with the Whale, 3 Group 1s at Alexandra Park on Friday night, and our best bets to round out the show. Time to take a look at our feature out of Te Rapa. So I'll say hello to you, Aidan Rodley, fresh back from holiday. What is our weather and track conditions looking like this Saturday?
Yeah, it's great to get back from holiday, Pip, and get to sunny Hamilton. It's been a gorgeous week here in the city of the future. As you can see here as well, we've got another gorgeous day. A bit of rain in the forecast for late Thursday and Friday, but Saturday looks nigh on perfect. So I think we'll be on just about perfect conditions for Saturday.
That's what we want to hear as we take a look at the feature. It is race number 6 on the program, and it is headed by the Team Rogerson runner in Domain Ace at $3.20. Then you've got Super Fonton at $3.50 for Stephen Marsh, and Renovations at $5 along with Star Shadow, the only other runner currently in single figures at $9. That's a look at the market. Let's take a look at some form leading in. And Domain Ace here, the gelding by Swiss Ace. He was pretty impressive here, Aidan, at Ellerslie last start.
He's been impressive in both outings so far. He's just looked good. He went from strength to strength. The first up win showed that he was a horse of real promise and got Graham and Debbie Rogerson even thinking about a crack at a Group 1 size Produce Stakes. He's gone to Ellerslie on what was the initial Easter handicap day and produced a performance of real quality. Liking what I've seen from him, Leith.
Yeah, look, he's run left-handed, right-handed, soft track as well. And look, I had a quick chat to Craig Grills just before the race at Ellerslie, and he put on a bit of a rap on him. And look, obviously he paid $11 and he won by a length and a half. So the writing's on the wall. He's highly regarded.
Well, the writing is on the wall, especially when you go back and review that race from the off. It was caught 3 wide and working the whole way. Yes, it probably got out to the centre of the racetrack, and that allowed it to probably find the best part of the track at that particular part of the day. But you can't knock that performance, and you certainly can't knock the first up performance, what I thought was a pretty decent sort of field. Renovations. What do we do with Renovations? Certainly comes into this race off a performance that just went, wow, this horse has got a lot of ability left. And again, we're not seeing the start of this race, but this horse had to work early to get to that particular position. You thought, well, it's Te Rapa and the rail is favoured, but the way it kicked away on these horses suggests that it does have a lot of ability for the social racing team.
Yeah, obviously she won at Te Rapa. She galloped there last Saturday, and I know I watched her, and she galloped enormous. She just galloped by herself. Matt Cameron rode her, he's suspended, so Vinny takes over the ride. But she's got plenty of talent, and I think, you know, if a step up to 1,400 metres, especially if she leads and the rail's okay, I think she's going to be awfully hard to beat.
Yeah, really nice performance from a horse who's getting better with each outing. That was the 3rd up outing, and obviously there was the improvement going into it. Love the way that Matt rode the horse on that occasion. I think Vinny should be taking a leaf out of that book and being as positive as he can, because obviously she can sustain a good finish as well. Take it back to Rotorua for what was a really impressive maiden win. This is Super Photon in the Bourbon Lane stable colours. Stephen Marsh trains. Just not so sure about the form in behind, but it's just the manner of this performance, Leith. There's something about this horse, I think, a real contender on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly, and the step up to 1,400 metres will suit him. I know Michael rode him in his first trial. Obviously Joe Dahl rode him at Rotorua when the money really come for him as well. He sort of shortened to $2.50 favourite. Joe suspended, but you know, Michael's got a good record with the Marsh stable.
Yeah, super impressive. The money was on and the wrap was on, and it duly delivered. I like the way that horse powered up over the last 150 metres when clear. Sometimes they lose a little bit of concentration when they get clear of the remainder of the field, but that horse just powered up and really attacked the line. So there's a lot of upside around that horse. I'll be looking for it into its 3-year-old season to be a real contender in some nice races. One you like Leith as a bit of an each-way player in this particular race is Windrush for Tony Pike, and he's been on a roll in recent times.
Yeah, what you don't see here is he was caught sort of 3 wide with no cover for the majority of the race. The horse on the inside, Yaldi, ended up going to Flemington next start and he ran 3rd. So I think the formula of the race is pretty strong, and I know the Pike stable really like this horse, and geez, the Almingsalls are flying at the moment.
Yeah, they sure are, and you'd think even over more distance will be this horse's friend as well. However, I've gone around, I thought the 4 race winners just might have had an edge here. Domain Ace has been very good. The draw is some concern, especially when you've got Super Photon from a good draw with Stephen Marsh, who really does target this race, but in the end I've gone Domain Ace on top. Leith, how about you?
Yeah, I've got the same. I just know Craig Girls really rates this horse, so did the stable. The gate's a little bit tricky, 11, but look, obviously they raced at Te Rapa last week, so the middle of the track might be the place to be this week.
With the team, Domain Ace on top, and I agree everything you say about the draw, especially at Te Rapa. Craig will have to be right on his medal to be close enough at the top of the straight to pick these horses up. But the way it won last start, I do think it's heading to some pretty serious sort of assignments with a little bit more time on its side and a horse to be really following. So Domain Ace, all 3 boys, Pip.
Certainly are, and at a nice price too, considering the team all with him. As we now move on to the other race we want to touch on at Te Rapa, and it's the open sprint over the 1,200 metres. Pour the Wine heads the betting at $3. You've got Seamus at 4s, then Turn the Ace at $7.50, along with Kingfisher and Highlighter in the market at $8. Let's take you back to Pour the Wine, Aidan. This was a massive effort from where she came from, right at the back of the field, to running behind a very nice type.
Boy, it's been some sort of preparation, hasn't it? Pip, 5 starts, 3 wins, a 2nd and 3rd placings. Just seems to be a real model of consistency, and with this willingness and superior ability as well. Gets in on the minimum. This is undoubtedly his biggest, or her biggest test, Leith, but on what she's been doing so far, this is Sacred Sotono form.
Yeah, Sacred Sotono, look, Warren was pretty negative out of the gates, where Sacred Sotono had a really sort of a good trip up on the speed. She's done really well to make the ground up, she did, and look, back to 54 kilos this week, she'll be hard to beat.
Interesting. I was a Sacred Sotono as my best bet. Drifted $3.50. I'm very good at that. Every time we tip one out, they go $3.50, $4. They just get real the blows. So I was just thinking there that Warren maybe missed a mark, and he hasn't missed many throughout the season. He just got too far off Sacred Sotono, and the quality just came to the fore. Turn the Ace loves Te Rapa. Absolutely loves Te Rapa. Its pattern suits Te Rapa. The horse is trialled up beautifully. It goes really nicely fresh and even better into its second up performance lease. So from a decent sort of gate, you'll know where this horse will be. Michael McNabb is aboard. It'll improve, I would imagine, but you just respect this horse when it goes around at this particular place, and it's got to be tough to beat.
Yeah, certainly he loves Te Rapa. He's well rated, 56.5 kilos, Michael on him. He does look like probably the natural leader in the race, so he's definitely a top 3 chance.
Yeah, in a race which I don't think set up to be a really strongly run 1,200 metre race. You think he's going to derive a fair bit of benefit from that trial as well. You just saw him sort of dip a little bit at the 150, and yeah, we know the abilities there. We know he loves Te Rapa, and we know he likes to get out and bowling. And yeah, as Leith said, I thought he was at a really nice place in the weights. However, he's up against a high quality one here in Seamus. He's won 6 of 13. These days with Moira and Kieran Murdoch up at the beach. Obviously, I'm sure just to give him some beach training. They do a terrific job up there. But he's high class, and I thought his trial was good, fresh up. He's just got so much upside from barrier 1, Lee.
Yeah, obviously Jasmine's having her first race day ride on the horse this week, and look, I think Moira's training the horse. The horse has got a few little niggly problems. The beach training him. Just a little bit of a question mark for me, 59 kilos this week.
I couldn't get over it his last start when he was short price favourite, and if in doubt, Get Out from Taranaki got back $17 to $3 against Seamus. So there's clearly been some issues in behind the scenes, because the Taranaki money came very strongly for the Tracy Bliss trained runner. So that's why he's up at the beach. He's a high quality. If he was at his absolute peak, he'd be winning this race. There's no doubt about that. He can really fly, Seamus. I'll watch him one time this preparation and just see, but I do think he has a heck of a lot of ability. Myself, I'm going to take a chance on Turn the Ace. I think this horse will just jump, lead, and he'll give you a great sight, and he's one to follow into his next up start as well, and especially when a little bit further rain does fall. He's a pretty smart sort of horse, and he's at his right home where he loves winning, Leith.
Yeah, I'm going to give Pour the Wine another chance. I know she's had 2 starts at Te Rapa for 2 misses. Yeah, I think Warren might have just missed the boat a little bit, but, you know, she was beaten by Satano last start, so I think 54 kilos, she's gifted at the weights.
I'm just going to respect Seamus. I just love his record. He's won 6 of 13. I think he'll really thrive on the change of environment, and I expect he'll be ready to go, bang from the word go from barrier 1 from the new stable. So he's on top for me.
There you go, sounding very open with everyone with a different runner in the open, and that's a look at Te Rapa. The first race gets underway 11:45 Saturday, trackside 1. Time to turn our attention down south for the listed Champagne Stakes. So Bevan Sweeney, what's our weather and track conditions looking like down there on the weekend?
Well, looking into the future, Pip, the Met Service suggests that the weather and track conditions won't change all that much over the next 36 hours, so it's a soft 6 at the present moment. There was a few showers forecast for this morning, but as we head into Friday, looks like a good day, and very, very nice day for Saturday's racing. We've had a bit of racing there over the last couple of weeks, but the track's been on fire.
Certainly has been. We're getting some great autumn weather. That's what we want to hear as we move into our listed race for the 2-year-olds. It is the Berkeley Stud Champagne Stakes. Discretion rules heads the betting at 3:30. You've got Great Time at $5 along with Ziggy Stardust, and then Colonial Warden and Lil Zena in the market as well at $6. Let's take you back to some form. Here's Discretion rules running second, and you could almost argue should it be for 2 from 2 Aiden, not for Nucleazor in the race.
Yeah, and even the start on debut when this horse was making up good ground for third and behind Nucleazor, that it was a run that had real merit too. The last couple, both times, he's made Nucleazor just have a little think about things. In the end, Nucleazor does get away, you know, asserts superiority, but even the start before as well, Discretion rules had been in the race. He never flinches at the end of it. I think he's a really good chance without Nucleazor here, Leith.
Yeah, exactly. He's had 2 looks down the Riccarton Straight as well. So I know in his first start he was favourite over Nucleazor. So look, the stable really rate him, and he's due a winning turn, isn't he?
There's a second runner in this race for Te Rapa called Colonel Warden by the champion 2-year-old sire Russian Revolution. This is the trial. Look, he was asked the last 100 metres, but inexperience probably played a part in that. And Star Shadow, who is a subsequent winner, comes down the outside and gets very, very close. But when they line one up in black type at its debut, Leith, you've got to prick your ears up and take notice.
Yeah, obviously the grey horse on the outside won at Otaki next start as well, so it's pretty good form. Look, it's had a little trip down to Christchurch where the other horses settled in, so yeah, I'm still with Discretion rules.
Yeah, I am too, but Bevan makes a very good point around that Star Shadow form, the horse coming out and winning on debut, so the form looks okay. Let's get you down to the south as well. Great Time comes up from the Southland base after what was a really good win at Riverton last time out. Kylie Williams did the riding, does the riding on this occasion, takes over from Sam Wynn, who's committed to Lil Zena, but there's enough in this performance, Leith.
Yeah, look, Robert Dennis is going really well as well, and he's travelled his horses to Riccarton the last couple of weekends, and he's had winners both times. So, look, the horse looked very professional, railed well. Kylie on from gate 2, definitely a top 3 chance.
I'm loving this horse. I know Robert really thinks a heck of a lot of it, and I thought that was a super professional performance by the time test. And there was a lot still to give there from this particular horse, and I think from that gate it's going to sit in the right spot and be really difficult to beat. Therefore, I'm going with the Robbie Dennis trained runner in a great time. I think from that gate, natural improvement. This horse will really step up to the mark there at Riccarton on Saturday. I think it goes very, very close.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the top weight, Discretion rules. It's been a little bit unlucky to be running against Nucleazor, and I think it's a dual winning turn this week, and Najam Palmer on, so the stable apprentice.
I'm the same way too, Leith, and you made a really good point when you were assessing this one in the film earlier on. Just that experience down the chute is all important, but from what we've seen of Discretion rules so far, he's on the cusp of something good.
Certainly is. So that's a look at the 2-year-olds. Now let's move on to the older horses. Race number 7 on the program. This is the Avon City Ford Easter Cup over the mile. Harlech heads the betting at $4.50, at Anya at $6.50, Times Ticking at $7.50, and then you're getting out to the Buffer and Burgee at around that $8 quote. Boy, it is open looking at that market. So let's try and find you the winner through some form. And here's Green Luck. Back to his old winning ways, Aidan, and it looked like he was gone, but he come back to beat Harlech and Times Ticking.
Yeah, it's great to see him back. Obviously, he's a horse who's been around the world and winning a Canterbury Gold Cup good. Times Ticking's run's very good. We know he's well capable, and well, Harlech, geez, you have to go a long, long way back since his last win, October 2019. But is he on the cusp of something? Interesting race, but geez, there's some tricky races at Riccarton this weekend.
Yeah, it's sort of Harlech, just sort of when you thought he was going to win his race. He hadn't won since the Benalla Cup. I think it was in 2020. And he had every chance to go past Green Luck. Green Luck was really good on the inside, so it was good to see him back in winning form. But yeah, I think I'd have Green Luck just over Harlech.
Yeah, Green Luck's going to carry the car park, isn't it? So it's a little bit tough to see it winning, and Harlech just doesn't really want to win. So I'm with Times Ticking out of that replay. He'll really improve into his next up performance. Sort of got there and looked as though he was going to blow on by. Concern around an apprentice riding an older horse, but he's a bit of a gentleman. He'll just get that weight relief. And of the 3, I'm thinking Times Ticking is on the improve. Adenaya is one that really interests me. I thought it was really unlucky in this particular race. You see it back there in the yellow cap, and the key factor around Adenaya is that Joe Dorr goes back on. He was a winner aboard this horse a couple of starts ago and seems to get on really nicely. Now, I know Adenaya doesn't have the greatest record at Riccarton, but look, I thought if it got some clear air, and I think they just missed a move at around about the 300 metre mark to get out and moving, and then the horses run the best sectional home in that particular race. So I'm quite keen on the chances of Adenaya, but the boys are keen around another couple, and Burgee is one of those, Aidan, who put up a really nice winning performance at its most recent start.
Yeah, a couple of starts back was very good winning in this race. Obviously, he's gone on to contest the Southern Alps Challenge since and finished a creditable midfield performance. But it takes you to the Breeders' Stakes, and here's a horse who was obviously a War Step Stakes winner earlier on at the track. Just enough ability about her. I think she's in a real sweet spot in this race. I don't think it's the strongest field, and I think she's beautifully placed here. Leith, what are your thoughts on her?
Yeah, look, she was really well ridden when she won with Corey Campbell on. I think the main thing with her, she really needs a good track. If the track really improves and does get back into that sort of good 4 range, geez, she's been going well. She's definitely a winning chance.
Yeah, I'm going to go for her on top. I'm liking Burgee. I just like where she sort of fits into this race. It's not a race I've got really strong opinions of. I agree with Bevan that Times Ticking, I think, comes out of that Canterbury Gold Cup with real credentials as well. And Adenaya's performance, as we saw from the video, very good as well. Leith, you need to help me with this one.
Yeah, I'm going for Times Ticking. Look, he gets down to 59 kilos of DMB Tate Rose on. The best thing, he's drawn barrier 3, so look, I think the old boy will put himself just sort of in behind the leaders. And look, I think he's a big improvement off his last start.
Great to see you remembering your Wairarapa roots, Leith, with Times Ticking and Albie McGregor. What am I going for? I'm going with Adenaya. I think this is a great chance at some decent sort of odds for Lance Robinson. Joe Dorr aboard it, just like the each way money there, Pip.
Again, differing opinions in the other feature down at Riccarton, and the races get underway nice and early on Saturday. First from Riccarton, 11:30 a.m. track zone 1. Time for your race trackers. Make sure you note these ones down, and you know the drill. We'll start with Leith in his first. Who have you found this week?
I'm going to take you back to Te Rapa, Tom and Archie. Look, this horse is going to the Doomben Roses on the 25th of May, and look, she's had 4 starts now for 3 wins, and it probably should have won her first race as well. So, look, the writing's on the wall. Look, in the futures, she's $17s and $5 for the Queensland Oaks at Doomben, and look, I think the best thing about her is, look, she's got her ears pricked, she's got improvement, and look, the stable have got a strong hand going to Brisbane this year with Molly Bloom as well, but just think this one here could be one out of the box.
How did Marcia get that horse speed at Taupo is still beyond me. Let's talk Buenos Dias. This horse is a full brother to a Group 1 sprinter in Australia. And look, he used to just over-race and pull and reef. He settled back this day. And make no mistake, I'm a Brazen One is a smart horse, and he's got home really nicely in this particular race. He'll win at short notice, this horse with the striking white markings.
I'm going to take you to the trials at Te Awamutu on Tuesday. Boy, there were some trials, and if you go through that meeting, there's plenty of good ones. This is Babylon Berlin out in front, but have a look at this horse, Pokuru Gold, unbeaten in one start so far. Just hits the line beautifully under Opie Boston. We'll head to Te Rapa, I think on the 18th of May, and expect this horse to keep its unbeaten record when stepping out then.
And I'm going for a greyhound. Now, this is recorded on Thursday, so he will run around tonight in a heat of the Kingston Cup over the 700 metres. This is him winning over the 645. He's come across from Australia with distance form for Matt Roberts. He's gone under 30 seconds in brilliant times over the 520. I think he can take out the final next Thursday and beat a dog like Grand View Ace. So one to follow, Chief Dribble for Matt Roberts. And make sure you note them all down, pop them in your black book on the new TAB website. We have more Kiwis trying to take on the Australians this weekend in the South Australian Derby. And as you can see, we've got a horse really high in the market for the Kiwi chances, and that is Antrim Coast for Stephen Marsh. So let's take you to his last start performance. This was a massive run, Aidan, in the Galilee Stakes, considering how quick Daniel Stackhouse took off at the top of the corner for him to hold on for second.
His whole body of work has been fantastic, even when you go back to his Avondale Guineas run, when he's run the second quickest last 200. He's come out from that run second in a New Zealand Derby at $150 odd, won the Alistair Clark at Group 2 beating Quintessa, and then a really fighting performance in behind Gold Wolf in the Galilee final. Was just a horse who's going really well. It's a fitting race for him, and I wish Stephen Marsh all the best as he chases his second Group 1 in Australia. Leith, your thoughts on both of these two?
Yeah, look, the 2,500 metres is really going to suit him. I think the big plus for me is Mick D gets back on. He won on him at Moonee Valley. I think Daniel Stackhouse, it just took off way too soon, and look, I think he would have taken the ride back if he could do it again. But you know, to go down ahead, it was a good run.
I'm glad an ex-jockey said that, because I don't think that was Daniel's best piece of work to leave him a sitting duck that far away from home. He put up a massive performance to end up exactly where he did. So he's going really, really well. He couldn't be any fitter. There's that slight niggle that we're just going one more with some of our 3-year-olds, and it hasn't really played out at times, but he just looks as though he's tough as teak, so it's got to be a major player. Out of stock is the emerging horse maybe into this particular race, because we were at Trentham and watching this performance, and to me it was obvious before the corner there was only one winner. It was this particular horse who put them away really, really quickly with a nice turn of foot, and it's hard to know exactly where it does line up because it's pretty new on the scene, and this was a performance that really marked it as a decent horse, Leith, but certainly the way to attack the line you'd be giving it recommend.
It's a pretty good form race too. Moonlight Magic came out and won at Ellerslie. Pretty good for A-Rod to manage to get Opie on and not Michael this week, so he wins either way. But look, you think the 2,500 metres would definitely suit him. Got the visitor's draw though, barrier 18.
Yeah, hasn't Chad Ormsby done a job in recent times? And of course, Opie Boston on 98 Group 1 wins. So as he tries to edge closer to that century, really dominant performance. And as Leith said, the form coming out of that Trentham race okay. So definitely some sort of chance. Interesting runner further down the book is Ahuriri, who won the St Ledger at Flemington last time out. Goes around in those colours that Kylie Bax has sort of made fairly famous in recent times as well. Bred by her parents, Graham and Helen Gay, out of the Chris Wallace stable with Craig Williams. So there's a lot of upside and not a bad performance last time out, Leith.
Yeah, she's backing up from last Saturday. Look, the Almensors, they are flying at the moment. Yeah, the drop back from 2,800 metres to 2,500 metres is not going to be a worry, and Chris Waller knows how to train these horses for Group 1 races. So definitely a top 3 chance.
It's a tough one. I'll be interested to get your boys' selections. I've gone outside those. I've gone to the chairman's winner from last week in Bold Soul. I thought just a really good, solid performance by one who's right in the zone. It's won 5 from 8, has a touch of Patrick Payne, and just seems to be going really well. Stays in Adelaide, so much upside here. Leith, who'd you find on top?
Yeah, I'm going to take you to Coco Sutton. She ran in the South Australian Oaks last week. I think the 2,500 metres is really going to suit her, and a little bit of a Kiwi connection. Terry Jarvis, the owner, he lives in New Zealand.
Well, I'll fly the national flag on the back of those two boys. I'll just go with Antrim Coast because I think it's a tough horse going the right way, and look, I'm not across the form as deep as possibly this normal form, but Antrim Coast seems to be going as well as any horse over there at the present moment. Tough and will really tough it out late in that race, but.
Like it, Sweens. Good luck to the Kiwis in the South Australian Derby. The first race from Mortfortville gets underway 2:22 on Saturday. The fantastic harness racing continues. We've got 3 Group 1s to look forward to out of Alexandra Park on Friday night. So let's take a look at what the weather and track conditions are expected to be. You can see from our beautiful shots a low of 9, a high of 18. Partly cloudy, a chance of showers. Let's hope that those stay away because we are in for a fantastic night. As I say hello to you, Craig Thompson. Cannot wait for the action, including the Northern Trotting Oaks.
Absolutely, Philippa. Good morning to you. Gee, it's going to be a massive night Friday night. You're right, 3 Group 1s, plus the Oaks as well. 7:30 to 9:30. That's a place to be, trackside 1 on Friday night to catch the 3 Group 1s. And, of course, the Oaks, which kicks off race number 5. Really do like this field. There's a lot of depth to it. Let's have a look at the market here. And it's headed up by Empire City. Now, she was $3 on opening. She's into $2.60. Princess Sadie, the other Southerner, $4. Of course, the Southerners won this race last year with Walking on Sunshine. The Moonstone had a gallop last week, $6, but has high gate speed and high step in a single moment at around about $7. The key video is the trotting prelude from a fortnight ago because there's been form come out of it. So the horse we're highlighting out wide is Empire City. On its inside in the orange colours, that is Princess Sadie. She goes on a week later to run a placing in the Harness Millions. Of course, the horse in front goes on to win the Harness Millions. It's been a good form guide. Now, Empire City was having its first start. She's quite a big mare, and I thought she probably will learn going right-handed for the first time. Also stepping up over the 2,200 metres does interest me a little bit more. I think she's a better stayer than she is a sprinter. Full Williamson's got a nice one here. She's won 5 from 8. If I had to label one in the race, I think $3 is okay. She's into $2.60 as we record now, but she's clear top pick for me. The main danger might be the Moonstone. She's got very good gate speed and very hard to leave out Princess Sadie on the form that she's showing so far. Going on to the Messenger, of course, last week we had the Taylor Mile, so it's a good guide to this week. This is the market, and it's headed up by Don't Stop Dreaming. Now, he's into $2.30 after opening at $2.70. You've got Merlin at $3.30 from Barrier 3, but it's a niggly little draw. Gate speed in 1 and 2 with Speak the Truth, who's been dying to get a draw, and finally the Aussie has got one, Barrier 1. Can he use it? You've got Better Eclipse at $6, and of course the massive upset winner at $155 for Crystal Hackett last week. No, $155 this week, $13 for the free-legged Max Shard. Let's go back and have a look, relive the Taylor Mile from last week. What a super performance it was from Max Shard. So he's last, dead wide, coming wide. You see the horse 3 wide. That's Don't Stop Dreaming in the All-Stars colours. It's been 3 wide the entire mile. It's never got on the track at any stage. Merlin's got up the inside, but he kind of got held up by Republican Party, and he got his momentum up. Coming between them down the outside is Better Eclipse, and between them also is Kango. Thought it was a good run, Don't Stop Dreaming. To the second row's not a bad draw for him. He follows out Kango, and if the Aussie holds up, Merlin might be 3 wide going into the first corner. If he gets in front of Merlin, I think Don't Stop Dreaming can turn the tables on the Grins of 3 weeks ago. So he's clear top pick for me, but again, he's getting short enough at $2.30. I think the big improver is Better Eclipse. He ran 3rd in this race last year, and he just indicated in the Taylor Mile that the longer trip is starting to suit him better. So the 2,700 metres is going to be right up his alley. Going on to race number 7, it is another Group 1. It is the Young Guns final for the babies, the 2-year-olds. Pretty compressed market here. Horses drawn medium draws, neutral draws like Cyclone Geordie and also Demon Blue. They hold the market here early. Demon Blue 240 245. Cyclone Geordie 270. The unbeaten filly, isn't it good to have her in the race? You're the one that I want at 550. She's won 3 from 3. And I've got Chills the stablemate. He was brilliant last start, $11. Let's go back last week to Heat 2 of the Young Guns. So you've got Cyclone Geordie and the yellow cap David Butcher coming wide. Right on his back, tracking him everywhere, is the eventual winner Demon Blue. Beautiful drive. Flushed David Butcher out at the top of the lane. Natalie got onto his back, got onto his helmet, and got over the top of him late. The horse on the inside that did all the work on the early burn was I Got Chills. I thought really good and maybe the best roughie in the race at $11. But I think the barrier draws favour Cyclone Geordie this week. He drew second row last week. His gate speed has put him in front of the main rival on 2 occasions, and when he's got in front of his main rival, he's beaten him home. So I'll lean that way, Cyclone Geordie. Frank Cooney and those famous colours, Tate Hopkins, and a young up-and-coming trainer, and David Butcher, who's driving really well. So Cyclone Geordie, my top pick to win the Group 1 Young Guns final. The main danger, Demon Blue, and I've Got Chills. The last of our features, of course, it is the big one. It is the National Trot. We've got the Inter-Dominion champ here in Just Believe, and wasn't he good last week? Let's have a look at the market again. He was $1.35 on opening. Well, I tell you what, he's $1.16 now. People happy to multi him up at the $1.35. Muscle Mountain, the defending champ. He won this race last year, $5. Oscar Bonavena tried to get towed into the Lyell Creek last week, but he couldn't go with Just Believe. He's $6.50 in Midnight Dash. Well, look at that. The rest of them $100 or more. The top 3 dominate the market. And the key video to show is last week's Group 2 Lyell Creek. Just Believe in front. Main rival Oscar Bonavena on his back, all cashed up 3 the fence, and that's as far as we have to go. Nothing could run on. They went 242 on an off track, and this horse, of course, won the big Tab Trot 2 weeks earlier at Cambridge for $600,000. Showed the true quality. 2-time Inter-Dominion champion. Now, he's drawn a little bit awkwardly because he's out at barrier number 4, and you think, well, he'll just roll forward, he'll just lead. I don't think so. I think Muscle Mountain from barrier 5, we saw on the Tab Trot slot race that his gate speed can put him on the front end of a race. I think he'll get there. Whether he hands to the Australian will be very interesting to see what Ben Hope does, but he's probably the early leader. Oscar Bonavena, the trail, Just Believe may have to sit parked out. Can he do that? We saw in the big race at Cambridge, he's good enough to do it. Philip, it's going to be an intriguing contest. The Group 1 Trot, the National Trot, the Aussie is all the rage at $1.16. It's going to be a massive night. Nicole Sims and myself will take you through all the action, first starting just after 5.
Thanks, Craig. It certainly is going to be. And we also, of course, have the bonus back opportunities in the first 2 races as well. So you know the drill. You don't find the winner, but you run second or third. You have a bonus bet coming your way on your first fixed odds investment up to $50 with the TAB. Catch all the action, Trackside 1, Friday. Time for our best bets for the weekend. Leith, who have you found this week?
I'm going to go race 8, Pip. Russian Satire, David Peichel owned filly. Look, Andrew Forsman's got a bit of a rap on this mare. Even though she's had 1 start at Te Rapa for a last over 2,100 metres, Craig rode 1 race for a win at Ellerslie, and he knows it now, so I think she'll be awfully hard to beat this week.
I'm trying to give the Stuck Shoes a bit of hope on Sunday when you come into the end of your run, round about 2-3 o'clock. It's been a long 2 days, and Sebastian Coe steps out on the synthetic, race number 5. He doesn't breathe overly well, but he's got 1,000 metres. He loves the synthetic, I understand, and he can win from a forward position, Sebastian Coe.
Geez, I've just realised I'm going up against Leith Innes. Geez, I want to rescind this, but I have gone with Urban Myth, who did chase home Russian Satire last time out. Now, Russian Satire carried 54, now carries 56.5. Urban Myth stays on the same weight, was beaten 1 length, so comes in a little bit better at the weights. I do like Urban Myth, so Leith, a little bit of head-to-head there.
Yeah, it's an interesting race, but yeah, Russian Satire just on top for me.
Look at that, eh? I think just take the Quinella, and I'm going to go for Mesa Verde for Cody Cole. Vinnie Colgan sticks with. Quite liked her run fresh up at Alexandra Park, where she sat 3 wide right throughout and still hit the line strong. She got good form around her last season, so I think she can pick up a win second up for Cody Cole, and Vinnie Colgan sticks with. A little bit of a sticky gate, but if she can overcome that over the 1,200 metres, she looks a great chance. So I'll start us off. Sebastian Coe for Bevan. Bet and win for the Whale at Addington on Friday. Urban and Myth. For Aidan, the same race as Leith with Russian Satire, so take the Quinella there, and that's our best bets for the weekend, and that concludes the show. Once again, thanks everyone, of course, Aidan, Leith and Bevan. Hopefully we've found you the winners, and good luck to all with connections in this weekend.